It started off like any other royal evening. Guests in sparkling gowns, the flash of cameras, and a room filled with dignitaries, celebrities, and the royals themselves. But no one, not even Adele, could have imagined how the night would end. What happened on that stage was something no one in the room would ever forget. The royal gala was meant to be a celebration. A beautiful evening filled with music and purpose, raising awareness for children's mental health. It was Princess Catherine's idea to involve music this time, something close to her heart. She believed music had the power to connect people, especially children, in a way that words sometimes couldn't. And as always, she was right. Adele had agreed to perform. She was a longtime supporter of the royal family's causes and had a natural bond with Catherine. But she had no idea the night would become one of the most emotional moments of her entire career. As Adele sat backstage before her set, she had a short chat with Princess Catherine. They talked about motherhood, about how fast their children were growing. And then Catherine said something almost in passing, "Charlotte absolutely adores your music. She sings, 'Make You Feel My Love,' all around the house." Adele smiled. She had heard about Charlotte's bubbly personality and quiet confidence. But she didn't expect anything more than small talk. Minutes later, the stage lights dimmed. Adele walked onto the stage in a long black gown, greeted by thunderous applause. She sat at the piano, took a deep breath, and began to sing. Her voice echoed through the grand room, each word soaked in raw feeling. The crowd was silent, fully captivated. Even the Queen, sitting quietly at the front, nodded gently to the rhythm. But then, just before Adele started her final song, she paused. She looked to her left and smiled in surprise. Walking shyly toward the stage was a small figure in a soft blue dress. Princess Charlotte. Only 10 years old, yet already carrying herself with the kind of quiet strength you'd expect from someone much older. Her eyes glanced at her mother in the audience, who gave the smallest, most reassuring nod. The room gasped. What was happening? Adele bent down and whispered something to her. Charlotte nodded. No microphone was needed. Adele began to play the gentle chords of "Make You Feel My Love," the same song Catherine had mentioned backstage. And then Charlotte opened her mouth. Her voice, delicate but steady, filled the air. You could hear the collective breath of the audience hold still. The daughter of a future queen, standing beside one of the most iconic singers of our time, singing from the heart. Adele kept playing, stunned. She tried to hold back tears, but midway through the chorus, her voice cracked. She looked at Charlotte, her eyes glassy, and stopped singing for a moment, letting Charlotte take over the melody. It wasn't about perfect notes or polished delivery. It was about what it meant. This was a young girl, in front of cameras, celebrities, the world, singing a song that had clearly meant something to her. And Adele could feel it. Every note. Every word. Charlotte's voice wavered slightly at the end, but she finished strong. The audience rose to their feet. But Adele didn't move. She reached out, hugged Charlotte gently, and whispered, "You're brave." And that was beautiful. When Charlotte stepped down from the stage and ran straight into her mother's arms, it was Princess Catherine's turn to cry. Tears streamed down her face as she hugged her daughter tightly. For a moment, she wasn't a duchess. She wasn't a future queen. She was just a proud mother, overwhelmed by what she had just witnessed. Back on stage, Adele turned away from the audience and covered her face. Cameras caught it. The tears. The genuine emotion. She later said in an interview, "I've sung in front of millions. I've cried on stage. But that moment with Charlotte, it broke something open in me. Her courage, her heart, it reminded me why I fell in love with music in the first place." The internet exploded. Within hours, clips of the duet were all over social media. Hashtags like #CharlotteSings and #AdeleBreaksDown were trending worldwide. But it wasn't just about a royal singing. It was about emotion, vulnerability, connection. People commented things like, "This reminded me of my own daughter. I cried the whole way through. Charlotte has a gift. But more than that, she has a beautiful heart." Princess Catherine's reaction, "That's every mother in the world." The palace didn't release an official statement, but insiders say Princess Catherine was deeply moved, not just by her daughter's courage, but by the love the public showed her. And Adele. She sent Charlotte a handwritten letter the next day. In it, she wrote, "You reminded me what pure, fearless music looks like. You are light. Keep shining." Since that night, people have begun to see Charlotte a little differently. Not just as the smiling young royal in photographs, but as a little girl with a voice, with feeling, with courage far beyond her years. There's talk of more musical events, of using music to connect with children across the UK. And while no one knows if Charlotte will ever sing publicly again, one thing is certain: for those few magical minutes, she reminded the world what true grace looks like. The moment wasn't rehearsed. It wasn't planned. It was real. And that's what made it unforgettable. That night, under the lights of a royal stage, two voices met, one seasoned and powerful, the other new and tender. And together, they created something timeless. Sometimes, it's not about perfection. It's about heart. And on that night, Charlotte had all the heart in the world. And Adele felt it too.